All right, Christine, let's talk about our process to finding inspiration and creating content in our brand. Because I know both me and you have completely different ways of creating, ways of channeling. I know you have your unique way of closing everything else outside of you and really tuning into your voice and into your channel. So I would like to hear, how do you channel your amazing content? I know you have a lot of content coming out all the time, so there has got to be a way to for in your flow.
Well, what's important for me is that it's a clean and clear channel. So I usually don't read other people's books. I don't like a lot of people are like, oh, saw that in Existential Kink, or I saw that in this. And I'm like, what? What? Yeah, no. I make sure that everything is coming through a clear channel. And so what I normally do is I kind of close out the entire world and I really tap into, I ask, God within me, I'm like, okay, what does my audience need to hear? I'm very strategic where I'm like, okay, I know the topic. I know what my ideal client really needs, right? And what the end result gets to be. But then I really connect with that ideal client and I'm like, what do they need to hear right now in this moment from me? And so that's normally how I create content. It's not really looking externally. The reason why I don't look externally is because it's very easy for me to look at other people's content and shift the message from what would have come uniquely within me. And I don't like to speak another way of someone else's, the way someone else is speaking. I don't like to share it in a way that someone else is saying it. And so what I have to do is really close out because have an open channel. And so my open channel, I try to make sure that it's not filled with extraneous other ideas and other people's ways and make sure that it's really coming clearly from me.
So what do you do? Like, let's say you're feeling inspired, but you're not sure if the inspiration is coming from you. It might be coming from someone else's, like from something you've read, or how do you make sure that the ideas that you have, like, is really coming from you?
So let's say, well, what I like to do other than closing out everyone else's stuff, I always love to, like, if I write something, I look at it and say, is this truly my voice? Is this what I want to say? So I read it and I'm like, is this audacious? Is this funny? Like, that's usually the things that I know. And I look at it and say, is this the way I would say it if I was talking to my sister or M or someone else? And usually I can hear when it's like, oh no, that sounds like such and such and so and so. It doesn't happen often, but I did see it, especially in the beginning stages of writing content and writing a lot of content, that I was like, oh, this doesn't even sound like me. This is not the way I would talk in a conversation. And so when I look at my content, I'm like, is this the true way that I real deal Holyfield would say it in a conversation? And if it is, that is the ones that people are like, oh my God, this is so good. And I'll have like 7 and 8 figure people that are like, I've been listening to your content. It's been great. But if it is not my voice, I usually hear from them and I don't hear from anybody. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, okay. Yeah, this was me.
I love it. So, okay, for me, the way that it's different is I have a defined head center. I have a defined channel, I guess, since it's not open. And I don't get influenced by other voices. And like, if I can read a book, I can listen to stuff and it's not interfering with my thoughts. So, and my inspiration comes from within because of the way that I'm designed. So it's not like I haven't had to learn how to build from myself and not other influences, because I see a lot of time I will read like the feed on Facebook and I know who is coaching with who because they sound exactly like them, or the content prompts and the ideas that they will give them is exactly the same. They haven't made it them, like it's literally like copy paste what they've learned. And I don't think this way. And it took me a while to realize like not a, people need to work on that skill if they are able to be influenced by other voices. And for me it was not an issue, so it was always feeling like it was my voice. So when it comes to creating content, I focus a lot on, first of all, modeling what my day is. So if I have calls in seven figure standard, for example, I will then talk about what I covered, what happened, what is it like. I show the behind the scene. I explain what I coach my clients on. I explain why I worked on something in my business so that people can understand what I do in a way that feels like very easy to see, because I explain the behind the scenes, the why, the how, and all these things. So it's easy for them to make a decision whether they want to work with me or not because they understand what I do. And when I do that, it's on the in the moment inspiration. So after a call, I'm going to like write a quick thing about this is what just happened, and I'm going to be able to share it. Now, when it comes to creating my content plan for my regular sales content, my promotions, and all these things, I create on every Monday, I create a content plan, and I will make sure that in my content plan, I will have promotional posts. I will have posts that makes me feel more engaged and connected to my audience, to my community, things that they can share, things that they will have fun replying to. Like, it's not about what I do, what I sell. It's about that engagement and things that they will relate to. I will make sure to have some content that's a little bit sassy, spicy, because that's my sense of humor. So I want to make sure that people can hear my sense of humor. I will have some polished content, and then I will have some unhinged, in the moment, no makeup content to make, like, to show both of the balance of the CEO and the person behind the business. So I will map out all the topics that I want to talk about on every day, and then unless there's I have an inspiration for a post that comes in the moment, and then I change my content plan. But then if I don't have inspiration or time to think about content, then it's easy for me. It's already prepared. And I even prepare my behind the scene. If I know, like, for example, tomorrow I have a one-on-one call with a client, I'm going to build a funnel for her. I already know that tomorrow I'm going to break down the funnel strategy. Like, why is it important for her to have that type of funnel in my stories, for example? So when I have seven-figure, like today, after this, I'm going to share about recording seven-figure refs with Christine on my stories. I will share the behind the scene, and I make notes. Don't forget to share about this, and then I will flow in my content. So if there's something better that comes through, I will use it. If not, I will use what I prepared. But for me, preparing it ahead of time helps me make sure that there's always good quality content getting out. So if I don't have inspiration, I woke up and I don't feel like wanting to do it, then it's already easy to put together because it's already planned. So that makes me feel like it helps me being consistent, because there's days that I don't have the same energy. Today I have a crazy energy. I could create a content plan, which I will today. So this is how I do it. I'm curious, Christine, do you plan your content in like, do you do it in the morning? Do you batch create? Like, how does that work for you?
I was just thinking that, so you pulled that telepathically. So I was I was just thinking that. What I normally do, it just depends on like what happened recently with me having to be here in at the time of this recording in my hometown unexpectedly. It kind of threw me off. But if I think about normally the way I create content, I usually create the day before and have everything like scheduled so that when I'm waking up, there's nothing that I have to do. Everything else is like gravy, you see. So it makes me feel good that I already have something going out. And then if it's like a Friday is my goddess day. So usually on Thursday, I will try to create content for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So that when I wake up on Monday, then I'm like, oh, there's nothing for me to do, but everything else is kind of gravy. I am going to, at the time of this, if you're listening to this, I am going to do a riff in seven figure standards about sales and how I realized recently I wasn't selling enough. And so, similar to what Em was talking about and how she's going to talk about her day, I am going to begin to do a lot more of that, what I've done in the day, and actually do sell. So, my intention is to sell at least 8 to 10 times a day. Like, I'm pushing myself and I'm using the same format I'm talking about like right now, because it's easy to do it when it's within something that you've already done or something that's happening in your day to actually bring back up the thing that you're selling. So that's how I do it. I prep usually the day before, or if it's before the weekend, I do a couple of days before, just so because it makes me feel so much ease to know that my content is actually done and everything else that I do within that day is extra.
I love it. I love it. So basically, making sure that we know how to find inspiration in a way that feels aligned to our voice, to our channel, to our audience, and that doesn't, it's not influenced by anyone else but our own magic, our own magnetism, our own power, and then creating content ahead of time so that we can flow and we don't feel the pressure to create, and we can feel spaciousness into our schedule, but also creating content in the moment as it pertains to what we're going through, what are we doing, what are we currently working on, so that it can invite people into buying. And it's not coming from us trying to push something. It's coming from, I'm showing you what it looks like. So if you want it, then here's the link. So I think that was a quick, amazing way of explaining some content creation from both an open and a defined head and channel. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon.